Welcome in, everybody. I'm Joey. First of all, we hit 30,000 subscribers on the channel. Absolutely nuts to think that mediocre driving is taking over the YouTube universe. I said in one of my very early videos that there are too many good drivers on YouTube, and we really need to diversify the portfolio, get some more shit driving on the YouTube, and I think we're really achieving that goal. Hence, Turn 1, of course, was an absolutely beautiful example of that. But we're in A-Class. I've gone for the old Mustang as I almost run straight into a spitting out Chevron, getting the better of the Viper on the straights. This thing has so much power. It is not great through the corners, but at Homestead, power is king. There are plenty of straightaways to make use of all that speed. Speaking of, we'll round turn 7 and head out onto this bit of straight here. Now that we've got a bit of a gap here between some cars, I did just want to say, in all seriousness, thank you for being here, watching, commenting. It does bring a smile to my face to know that when I completely miss my braking point and fly off and eat shit in the concrete wall, that you're getting a smile out of it too, so thank you for being here. All right, we're coming up on turn 10, and I typically despise this corner. Like, I fucking hate it, but what does help me not to go mow the lawn like those couple of guys there, and that guy actually just disappeared off into the wall somehow. But there is a darker section of the track on the racing line that you can look for, and if you just follow that through turn 10, that might help you get around a little bit better and not wind up 50 feet off into the grass. So that'll end lap 1. We had a nice move on Campbell back there to get up into 9th place. These two cars are making out up front. I nearly get killed by a guy that was fortunately ghosted. I would have died, but honestly, the car couldn't look much worse. It already looks like an absolute disaster. Quite a few little scratches on the back, but as they say, it'll buff out, I guess. For the rest of that lap, I hung behind this group. I wasn't quite close enough to start going for a move, but here on lap 3, I will have that opportunity. Coming out of turn 4, the Mustang will put that power down, and we'll go for the pass on the Miata. The Miata has some of the best handling in the game, but basically no top speed. So he'll come back at us through the turn, force me to take the long way around. The BMW not having much success trying that same thing with the Eclipse. He'll end up mowing the lawn, a brief rally session, if you will. That'll give me a free position, and I'll come back at the Miata. Breaking right in between that first and second board, hanging on the right side fencing, is a perfect spot for the Mustang. Still side by side with Fishatron, but hopefully once we get to turn 10, I will have pulled away just enough to maintain 6th place. It looks like that's what's going to happen here. We'll take as much of that curve as possible and get ready to brake at the 100 board to take the left-hander and then finish off the lap with the chicane. Really trying to hug that right side on the entrance to get the best possible line out of the corner up onto the banking for this straight. We'll get the draft, and it looks like we might have the move done before we get to turn 1. Braking about halfway between where the pit wall ends and the pavement turns light. There's that pretty distinct change in pavement coloring that can really help you gauge where you want to brake. So on the final lap, I managed to reel in 4th place. And typically through the last couple of corners, you want to put your best foot forward and do your best driving, but I've decided to completely screw it up, and I almost lost out on 4th place, but luckily he had 1.5 seconds in penalties, and I managed to make it through the race with none, so that was going to be a 4th place for me. So the 65 Mustang, a pretty good choice for A-Class. I wasn't quite keeping up with the big boys up front in terms of lap time. The GT350, NSX, and that Chevron were definitely beating me as far as that goes, but we'll move on to Sebring. I've gone for the DBS in this one, another car with a lot of power and a bit more handling than the Mustang, so we'll see how this goes. Qualifying in 3rd and managing to hang around there through turn 1. Things get a little dicey through the next couple of corners, though. So the NSX gets edged off the track, and, well, he's going to let the Austin Healey know exactly how he felt about that by pit maneuvering his ass. Consequently, he'll lose a bit of speed because of it. Now, not giving me a whole lot of room, so I'll take a little bit of the rally line on the right side of the track, heavy on the brakes into the hairpin. Quite a few arrows glowing yellow, and one of those arrows is going to light up my rear end. So just like that, the Aston Healey is going to reclaim the lead, and that is pretty much how the rest of that race would go. I was able to hang with the leader for about 3 of the 4 laps, but on the 4th lap, the tires just completely failed. This DBS definitely eats some rubber. When it was all said and done, it was going to be a 2nd place. I'll have to try that Aston Healey at some point. That little thing has so much acceleration. I just couldn't quite keep up with it coming out of the corners. So there are the times. Our best lap, actually very, very close, but as I said there at the end, the tires just failed on me and couldn't quite keep up. We'll make our way over to Lime Rock, a bit of a switch up compared to the first 2 tracks where Sebring and Miami are very power-based. This one is all about handling. I've gone for the Lotus Emira. Plenty of handling in this thing. I think 5.1 handling on the tune. Well, no amount of handling was going to keep me from running into the back of that guy. I tried to swoop underneath him as he was rejoining. That obviously did not work, and I'll drop down to 8th place. And we'll get ready to start braking for the chicane, which is not nearly as scary as it used to be, by the way. On Forza 7, there used to be some devil tire walls. If you played Forza 7, you'll remember it because you would have hit it a couple of times, whether that was your own fault for braking too late or someone else's fault for punting you straight into it while you face planted. Thank the Forza gods, those are gone. I'm going to try to slip up the inside of the BRZ. It doesn't look like I'll have the speed to finish off the move. I'll stay in the middle of the track, though, just in case there's an opportunity to slip up the inside into turn 1, taking all of that curbing. A couple of cars, 3 cars, going off the track far too wide. We'll slip up the inside of the BRZ. You can mark that one down in the books now. That was 4 positions through 1 corner, and I'm up into 4th place, trying to track down the BMW in 3rd. Not a BMW, a Mercedes, I believe. Either way, I'll get the better exit out of the S's and into the chicane. Heavy on the brakes. Looks like we'll get the move done here. Up into 3rd, so on the podium. With plenty of time left in this one, about 3/4 of the race still to go. So we'll skip to the start of lap 7. The 2 leaders have been battling it out, and that is bringing me back into the fight. I've cut off about a second over the past couple of laps, and to add to their trouble, they both have penalties, 0.9 for the leader and a second for 2nd place. My goal right now is to just get into the draft and stay close. I don't need to make the pass to win this race. I just need to stay within that 0.9 of a second of the leader. So I gained some time on him through the chicane. I'm in the draft. Now it just becomes, don't mess up. Don't go get yourself a stupid penalty. Don't wipe out. Just drive, stay close, and we'll see what happens. Not a great final chicane from me. You can cut quite a bit of the curbing on the inside there. I think I was just a little too conscious of not getting a penalty. I'll pay for that in terms of top speed on the straight. Not a great way to start the final lap, but I am starting to gain on 2nd place once again thanks to the draft. Nothing really changes here. I still don't have to make a pass to win this race. I just need to stick within 1 second of the leader, and I can be standing on top of that podium. The problem is that 1 second really isn't a whole lot of time. So if the opportunity does come for me to make a move, I will go for it, but just kind of, keeping it in the back of my head that I really don't have to. They're already pushing it to the limit to try to get away from me, so they might even make another mistake, get another penalty, and then I really don't have to worry about going for the pass. It's not really looking that way, though. They're driving very steady, and through the final chicane, me, not so steady. I completely fucked it. I did exactly what I knew I couldn't do. Cut the chicane hard as hell. First place is going to get away, but the NSX makes a mistake going too wide off into the grass, and so I'll walk away with another 2nd place. It definitely wasn't the way I wanted to end the race, but it was a very fun scenario. I don't think I've been in that position where the 2 leaders have penalties and I don't, at least in a very long time. So that was just a really fun way to end that race. even though I'm a massive choke artist. Anyways, I look forward to your comments. But that'll do it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, do all the stuff that YouTubers tell you to do at the ends of videos, and I will talk to you later. Alrighty, bye everybody.